Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back to the channel. Today we have two projects that have to get done. We've been dreading for quite a while. We discovered when we bought this camper a couple years ago, there was a water leak in the slide out that the previous owner did not address. So we have some rotten wood on the roof, and we have some delamination on the side of the slide out. So we're going to do both of those at the same time. It's going to be a lengthy video, so we'll probably break it up into a couple of different segments. It's going to be a big project. We're a little nervous about it. Never done anything like this before, but it is what it is. Got to get done. So I guess we'll start on the interior. So let's get it done. So the first thing we have to do is we got to take all this exterior trim off right here. We got this piece here, we got this cap, and there's a piece all the way across. So we can get to the roof membrane, and this has got to come off, this whole piece, so we can get to the siding. So we can replace that pylon. Of course, this window's got to come out, and all this stuff's got to come out. The siding here, this trim, it's just stapled in, so it should come out pretty easy. You know, hopefully we don't break it, because I don't want to replace it. So that's plan A. Plan B is if we do break it, then we'll have to make something different. Maybe some solid 3/4 inch pine, and try and save these end caps, and just stain it and color match it. So let's get this thing taken apart and see what we're looking at. Should come off fairly easy. I'm just using a stiff putty knife. We're just gonna kind of pry this off nice and easy without trying to do any damage, because we do want to save this. Let's see if we can just pull on it, so just staples. Let's get right behind it, kind of pry it off nice and easy. All right, there it is. See, it's just a bunch of staples. Pretty easy. Just knock those staples out and reuse it. Yeah, it's coming off pretty quick. I don't think we're gonna have any problem breaking anything. Hopefully. Hey, that wasn't too bad. It's not even wood, it's like compressed cardboard. That piece of cake. This is part of the seal that's behind this thing, which will have to come off. And then this piece right here, that is the membrane for the roof that folds over, and they staple it down, and they put this trim piece over it. So that's going to come off. All these staples have to come out. Of course, there's a million of them. Imagine that. All right, let's take this top piece off. I think it's in one piece. Well, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, it's going to take longer to take this thing apart than it is to replace the roof. But it's all right. No hurry. Just take your time. Do a nice job. Don't break anything. Of course, you're going to have to touch up some paint, but that's all right. Kind of expected that. All right. Yep, it's all one piece. And you can see this dark brown. That was the original color. All the cabinets in here, and it was pretty nasty. It's kind of like living in a cave. That's the membrane for the roof. We'll pull all these staples out. And then this cheap plastic trim right here. So this blue one, I guess, was called separated because it was barely enough in there to be covered by that trim. So what we'll do is take this plastic out and we'll staple this back in. Actually use nails, use the nail gun. And when we put this piece back on, we'll put a wider piece of trim here just to hold this in place. So when this thing's going down the road, this won't pop out anymore. All right, so let's do the staples. So when I pull these nails out, I'm just going to use a pair of pliers. I'll grab them like this, and this rounded edge here, just use that as leverage point and just kind of curl the nails out. It's pretty easy. I'd rather do that than use a hammer. Then we'll just throw everything in the garbage bag, keep it off the carpet. So when we get to these staples, I get this small bladed screwdriver. Just kind of get underneath there, because you don't want to damage this. This is part of the seal on the side. Just kind of get in there, dig out the staple best you can. Just kind of twist a little bit. Grab your pliers. Try not to rip the material. And just curl the staple right out. That's it. Rinse and repeat. Probably take an hour to get all these out, maybe a little longer. There's so many of them, it's ridiculous. Alright, so we got all this membrane off of this wood, and there's a series of screws in here to take a flat head or a square tip. Looks like there's two pieces of wood here sandwiched together. Not sure what's behind it, but I know it's got to come off. So you and I will be the first to see what's going on here. Let's take these up. So the less work or less repairs we have to do, the better. Alright, looks like it's stapled right in there. Staples, imagine that. This is just plastic trim. I think what we're going to do is not put that back in. We're just going to tear this right out. Put some nice wood trim in there, get rid of this plastic crap. Looks like some kind of a foam seal. I guess we'll have to slice it out a little bit. There it is. Yeah, it's just some foam seal for weather stripping. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing up top. We're going to take all these staples out, separate this membrane just like this. Pull off this top piece of wood. And then if you look on the inside, we have a aluminum channel which screws into this 2x4, which is right behind this wall. And holds this in place. This is just a seal. And then of course we have, let's see that channel. It's right in here. It's aluminum. It's got some screws in it all the way down. And of course we have the sweep, which you have to take that off this side and across the top. And that, we take this channel off, we should have access to the outside panel that's been delaminated. Well, unfortunately, I had to take the left side piece of trim off just so I can get to all of this, the roof membrane. So if you have to do that, just on the back side of the trim, right, left side, right side, with an arrow up, so it goes back in the same spot. Same with the top piece that goes in here. Just write an arrow, you know, that direction, so you know how to put it back in place. So all the screw holes line up, and it'll just be a lot easier. So what do we got? This is the sweep. Runs along the top of the camper, or the slide out. There's the same thing on both sides also. So you got your rubber membrane right here for the roof. It comes all the way down here and overhangs, as you can see, quite a bit. But if you lift this up, you can see right in here, there's an aluminum track on all three sides with some screws. So what they do is you overhang all of this and lift it up and put your track in. And screw it down to this aluminum frame, and that creates a nice, I don't know if you can see it in there, it's a nice transition right in here, so it'll keep the water out. I don't know if there's any butyl tape underneath this or not. I won't know until we take this apart, but probably not, just because the way it overlaps. So unfortunately, we have rain coming in the next couple days. I'm not going to take any more of this apart. What I'm going to do is go on the outside and start working out there a little bit. This wood looks nice and solid too. There's no rot here, but we'll see what it looks like in that corner, because that's where the leak was. So let's go outside. We'll start peeling off some of the silicone on the screws on the top and bottom track. Yes, I said silicone. I was bad. I put the silicone on to seal the screws, but we won't do that again. After we assemble everything, we're going to use non-self-leveling lap sealant to seal all the screw holes and all the screws, so we won't have that silicone issue again. So that's going to be a nightmare trying to pull it off. All right, let's go outside and check it out. All right, exterior side. So what we have to do is going to pull all this silicone off of these screws, and then this bead of silicone right here, well, that's going to come out. This outer channel or outer trim, all that silicone's got to come off, and all the way across the top, all that's got to come out. So we'll work on that now. We're not going to take any seals out, just de-seal and sweep. We're going to leave all that until after the rain is done, because I need at least 4 days once this is off. But I will close the slide as I go. And of course that window's got to come out, which is not going to be fun. And this is the delamination right here, if you can see that. So up here, right up here in the corner, right there, there was a leak. Came all the way down this wall. Just separated this phylon from the wood. So we're going to have to take this off, sand the back side of it, get it cleaned up and prepped, replace the wood behind it, and then have special contact cement just for this stuff. And of course, this piece of trim here goes all the way up top, all the way across. All that has to come off also. So there's a lot of prep work here before we get going. But this is going to be a nightmare. I just use this very small flathead screwdriver. Just kind of pick at it. Yeah, silicone. My mistake. So we just pick at it, pull it off, rinse and repeat. We'll do the same thing with this. Just kind of run this screwdriver down here and just kind of pull it right out. Yeah, it'll come out. It's just going to take some time. So what I'll do is when I put all this back together, instead of using silicone, which was a big mistake, I will use non-self-leveling lap sealant. Just put a nice bead in here. Is it better off this is sealed, the less chance of water leak and less damage. You don't have to go do the repairs again. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll just take our time, do it right. And then after that, it'll just be annual inspection. Just make sure everything looks good, and that's it. Won't have to worry about water leaks anymore. In theory. See, it comes off in strips. It's not too bad. The hard part's going to be the screws. That's it. So I'll peel all that off. And that's about all I can do today because we got rain next few days. So I'll just have to close this up so we don't get any water problems. And that top seal that goes across the top, it's some kind of a D bulb and a sweep. That's toast, so we'll have to take that off, get some measurements, go to a local dealership and order it. I think it comes in 16 or 20 foot lengths or whatever you need. I'll order extra just so I don't cut myself short. That's it. Rinse and repeat. The hardest part is going to be that eternal bond that goes all the way across the top. I mean, the stuff is great, but when you take it off, it's a nightmare. So it's just one of those things, you know, if you want a watertight slide, that's what you got to use. All right, let's get going. All right, so removing all the silicone on the screw heads and the edges of the trim and the rails that hold the siding and the roof together came off a lot easier than I expected. But I would definitely not use silicone ever again. Bad, bad, bad idea. Don't do it. Use either self-leveling lap sealant or non-self-leveling lap sealant. All right, so we're working on the eternal bond, part of it on the roof. That's going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. So here's the eternal bond. This is the rail that holds the membrane down and it keeps this file-on siding in place. So we're going to take all this off. I just use a screwdriver, a small one, pry underneath there, and then slice with the screwdriver to break loose all this glue. So when we replace this, after the roof membrane is done, it'll hang on to about here. We'll put butyl tape underneath this rail, screw this rail in place, and we'll let that set up for a few days. We'll cut the excess membrane off in here. But then, right on the very top here where I had this silicone bead, yeah, I know, silicone. We're going to put non-leveling lap sealant all the way across here. Let it set up for 3, 4, 5 days, whatever. And then we'll take my 6-inch eternal bond, put it right over this edge, and seal it up 100%. That way I have double protection. I got the lap sealant and the eternal bond. So I'll do the same thing all the way across that. So I won't have any more issues. As you can see right here, see how squishy that is? So the leak, all the water pooled right in here, and this was never sealed. So I rotted all this wood, and it came down, delaminated the siding. Over here in the corner, it rotted some of the wood on the inside. So fortunately, it's not that far. So if we go in maybe 2 feet, it's nice and solid. It's squishy over here. So there's very little that has to be replaced. So we'll probably take out a 3 foot by whatever, 4 foot section of plywood. Replace that, whatever wood that I have to put in here that's rotted. We'll get that done. And then we can put this membrane on. This seal, like you said, we're not going to take it off until we get 4 or 5 days of decent weather. But it will have to go to a dealership and order it. So here's your sweep. And you got this funky looking, it's not even a D bulb. I'm not sure what the hell they call it. But then we'll put that in. So this You see how this ends right here? It's got a nice hole in here. All the water just goes right down in there. It's not sealed. So when we put this new piece on, we're going to order it longer than what we need. And we're going to cut this sweep so it comes over the top of this bulb and creates like a gutter. So the water won't get in here and come all the way down. It'll just run off the edge. And of course, got a nice seal in here on this edge. So that's how we're going to do that. But we got a long ways to go first. We got to take this turnabout off, take this rail off, take all this trim off in here, this piece, and this piece down here. So, got some work. Once I get this turnabout off, I take this screws out and take this rail off. This glue will come off pretty quick. I just use some bunch of rags and some acetone. I'll take it right off and clean it. So prep work is everything. Everything's got to be clean 100% before you put any kind of sealant back on. All these edges need to be cleaned. Everything. Because if it's not clean 100%, when you put your new lap sealant on and your Turnabond, it's not going to work. It'll just peel off. And it'll defeat the purpose of using it. All right, let's continue on. Good morning, everyone. Day 2 roof project. So yesterday we took off this aluminum channel that holds this membrane in place, and I discovered that this is just attached here on the side with butyl tape. So we just have to peel this right off, just like that. And we're going to save this piece, put some new butyl tape in here after clean the old stuff off, and we'll just reuse it. So we're going to get this peeled off, put this aside somewhere, and we're going to go up top. We're going to work on this aluminum rail and break this loose. Unfortunately, that's about all we can do for today because we have rain coming, at least for an hour or so anyway. There it is. There's some butyl tape on the back. That's going to be interesting to clean off. Well, let's see what we can do. Yeah, so this we're just going to fold up and save it. We're definitely going to need it. And that's it. There's some butyl tape, a couple of screw holes, aluminum channel, that holds that in place. You can see how this outer wall, how I can break this loose. There's a couple of staples that hold it in place. So that shouldn't be too bad when we work on this delamination. Alright, let's get the top rail done. So this top aluminum rail here, it has a lot of screws that hold this roof membrane down. And it takes a square head bit. So I'll just get a little container here and start taking these out. Once we get this rail off, again, it's stapled in this aluminum frame. And then there's butyl tape underneath, which is good. Alright, let's get this done. What I'm going to do is I'll have to mark this end of the rail left side just so we know where it belongs, so we can put it back same spot. Try not to bend it because you're going to reuse this thing. Alright, now this part of the roof was just stapled to the aluminum frame, so we'll just, since we're replacing this roof anyway, we just kind of pull it up like that. We don't care if it tears the membrane or not. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Thanks for joining us. Next week we'll continue on with this project. Hopefully this helps you guys out if you're doing your own roof job or whatever. Watch my other videos. We got other DIY stuff going on. If you can do the work yourself, it's definitely cheaper than hiring somebody, and it's fun, and it gives you something to do. So we will see you next week. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and happy camping.